Thank you so much, Master, for joining in meditation. So, hope you're all back. Let's start today's wisdom. We are in chapter 11, After Death Choices and Mechanics of Transition, from SETH book, SETH Wisdom, The Eternal Validity of the Soul. So far we have discussing so many permutations, combinations, how the soul chooses and plans its birth, right? So today, like Seth Master says, in all the cases, the individual creates his experiences. In all the cases, in the sense, we are in physical body or we are in a soul consciousness. So we create our own reality. This is the ultimate truth in either way. So in all cases, the individual creates his experiences. That we have to always remind to ourselves that we create our own reality. So there are no special places or situation or conditions set apart after physical death in which any given personality must have experience. So there is so Seth Master says that there is no, like, all the individuals who uh, who left their bodies. Okay, there is no like special places, any special situations. So for example, he is taking about suicides. So today we will know about it. So suicides, there are some myths about suicides. So he says they do not have any particular punishment. So those souls who have committed suicide in when they are in physical body, so they don't have any punishments. Here they don't give any punishments to any souls. So punishments meted out to them, nor is their condition worse a priori. So they are treated as individuals. Those souls are treated same as the other souls which left their body, in a normal way, in like not committing by suicides. So here we need to understand that these souls who have committed suicide, that it's not they don't judge. The higher masters never judge any individual or any soul. So any problems that were not faced in this life will, however, be faced in another one. So this applies not only to suicides, this applies to anyone. If we miss some lessons, okay, if we reject, if we are not facing we are not whatever we have planned. So these lessons has to be faced in another one, in another life. So the individuals who commit suicides bring their own death because they reject the existence. And maybe why they reject the existence? Because the lessons, whatever they have planned, the lessons maybe in a specific terms, like in maybe they have designed in a specific terms, and they couldn't able to face that, and they decide to leave their body. So it's like they commit suicides. So these lessons have to learn differently. So in next lifetime, these souls has to learn the lessons in a different way. In a different way, in sense, whatever they have planned previously, so they will change the method of learning, but they don't change the lessons. So whatever the lessons, friends, we have uh, committed to learn, committed to whom? committed to ourselves. We are not no committed to the masters, to the higher masters, or to their realm. That okay, so they don't suggest, they help us to plan, but it's completely our free will. That's what Seth master said. We create our own reality. So even there, in where in that, the soul level, we create our own reality. We commit to ourselves that I have to learn this lesson, but after taking the physical body, uh, some individuals, they can't face that challenge, and they think like it is easy to leave the body instead of facing. So they reject the existence. They are not only rejecting, um, they are not only rejecting the lessons what they have planned. In fact, they are completely rejecting the existence. So they are not skipping that particular lesson, but completely the physical existence, they are rejecting the complete of physical existence. And these souls, the higher masters, they won't punish for taking these actions, but in fact they don't judge, and in fact they will help these souls. And how they help, we'll see. So these higher masters, they help them to learn these lessons in a different way. Okay, this method is not, maybe you felt difficult to face this lesson. Okay, let us make easy, or easy in the sense according to the that soul. So whatever the soul wishes, okay, let's plan like this. Because in planning, we have discussed, right, some souls, they don't listen to the higher masters. They follow their intuition, and they don't have enough knowledge on the certain experiences. So so uh, they take the help of higher masters. Uh, not only these conditions applies for the suicide, but also to the other souls. So these lessons have to learn differently. So the conditions connected with an act of suicide are also important. So what are the conditions which made that particular soul to take this decision is also important. And the inner reality and the realization are important. So the souls realize, so to what extent. So we have you know received the wisdom on the souls which have committed suicide from Seth master, isn't it? We have discussed in past lessons. It's a complete message, complete journey of a soul, of a soul which has committed suicide. So it has to undergo different lessons, different phases. Because the higher masters makes these souls to realize what they have done. So what they have missed, or whatever they are lacking the knowledge. So these higher masters make them to realize. That means they help a lot. So help is everywhere, friends. Here, there, everywhere. So because many, and here, why Seth Master is saying this is the conditions connected with an act of suicide are also important. Because so many philosophies, so Seth Master says, because many philosophies teach that suicide are met by a sort of special, almost vindictive. So there is like unforgivable, so unforgive fate, and such is not the case. This is not the case. So these masters make them to realize the importance of the life, realize the lessons, and they plan differently. But these souls, the philosophies, what they teach about this committing suicide is not something like unforgivable. So that it's not like something fate, related to the fate. So, and if a person believes that the act will annihilate the person who has committed suicide, if he believes that the act will annihilate, that means it will erase it will clear his consciousness forever, then this false idea may severely impede his progress. So it becomes a hurdle, it becomes a barrier to them, to that particular individual. And for it will intensified by guilt. So when this person, when this individual, after leaving the body, for every soul who has committed suicide, so if they are lack in understanding, again they will go into the guilt phase. See, whatever, first thing is we have to know whatever the challenges we have planned, so they are not a problematic phase, they are not the problems. That phase, whatever we undergo, a great challenge is a a learning phase. It's a learning, it's nothing but a learning. If we focus on learning, we don't feel the pain. So of course when we feel the pain, it's okay to feel the pain, but we don't just cling on to the pain. So when this individual only focus on the pain, so it's like when it comes non-acceptance, then slowly and slowly some non-acceptance and everything falls down in according to his eyes. So it's everything. So then he commits suicide. So when after committing suicide, so when the soul leaves the body, when soul goes to that particular realm, then he feels like, oh, this is, I can do that, but I couldn't, because whatever the challenges that we take up with, so we know the solution. And also it's the uh, it's a level to the soul. It's not like we don't plan the lessons beyond our ability, beyond our capacity, okay, beyond our tolerance. So whatever we plan according to our ability and capability. No soul will plan like overloaded or overload which it can't face it. So if we are planning the lesson, if we are going through, means it is we have to understand that it is completely, we have planned it, and we have the ability, we have the capability, we have the solutions in it. There are so many, so there are so many pathways, and we have that tolerance. So we have to know everything. This is what the wisdom is. So it's a learning phase. It's nothing but a learning phase, but we learn in a different way. So, so here nothing like when it leaves the body, then it feels, this is a small lesson, but I missed it. I can do it. So this, I had have completed it. So because again, these lessons have to be planned in a different way, right? So and and sometimes if the soul knows that it's not working in a different way, there is a chance that the soul plans in a much complicated way. So I have to do without any, we have without missing the lesson. And here I would like to read from the book a small paragraph what Seth Master says. Again, teachers are available to explain the true situation. Various therapies are used. For example, the personality may be led back to the events prior to the decision. Then the personality is allowed to change the decision. An amnesia effect is induced so that the suicide itself is forgotten. Only later is the individual informed of the act, when he is better able to face it and understand it. See how these teachers in the sense higher masters. So these higher masters, they try to explain. So they are available for these souls, to not only these souls, for the souls who need. So wherever there is need for the soul, these masters, they will help. So available to explain the true situation. So they will analyze the situation, and various therapies are used. We received the same message from the SETH master in that suicide message. So they are like so many therapies they use, so many like you know discussions about the mat. So whatever they can do, higher masters, they do to in order to help the soul. And likewise the personality may be led back to events prior to decision. So and here one more thing, friends. No soul plans a suicide. It's the person's mind when taking after taking the physical body. This person this person commits suicide by thinking about it, but it's not the soul's decision, right? So various therapies are used, and the personality may be led back to events. And this personality, the soul, these masters, they will show the scenes. So whatever the lifetime scenes prior to the decision. So not commit when it's not when the soul is when that individual is committing suicide, but before the scenes, then the personality is allowed to change the decision. So they will explain in a detail that prior to these decisions, whatever it is happened, and what the corrections this individual can make, and what are the ways. They are like multiple realities, multiple ways to face this. And this soul has whatever the strength that particular soul has, and how to work on the weaknesses, on how to work. So everything they will make that soul to understand. So then this personality is allowed to change the decision. So internally he is okay, so this is what. So internally, so they are building that courage, and also that knowledge, so not to commit a suicide. And also amnesia effect is induced to that soul, so that the soul can the soul, so that the suicide itself is forgotten. The souls will forget about suicide, because because after explaining, if the soul thinks these are petty things for it, so again there are the chances for the soul to go into the guilt phase. And guilt phase is like it's a huge burden. So unless the soul comes out, though higher masters they help, unless the soul comes out from that guilt phase, no one can help. And not only the soul, friends, and here also guilt should not go into that guilt phase. It's okay, we learn from mistakes, but never ever go into that guilt phase. Okay. So mm, so that the suicide, they will forget about the suicide. So only later in the individual informed of the act, when he is better able to face it and understand it. So this is about what the masters they do. And there are instances of where the individuals concerned do not realize the fact of death. And these in the case of the suicide, these because it's all of a sudden decision, right? It's not planned, it's a sudden decision. So these souls, they don't realize that they're already left their physical body. So it's not the matter of refusing or accepting the death. So understand a subtle point here. It's about they after leaving the physical body, they don't they don't go to that particular realm. So they won't go to that. So why? Because they don't even realize that they already left the body. Already the death has happened, because because uh, that movement, at that particular no suicidal movement, so it's a sudden decision, it's a jolt for the soul. It's not like it's a sudden so it has to come out. It's not planning. If it is a natural death, The soul knows everything. The soul plans everything. But here, what happened? It says it's all of a sudden. So the soul don't realize that it's already left. Already its death has happened for it, and this is why, because it's not rejecting the death. It's not like reject or accepting the death. It's the lack of perception. Lack of perception. So it won't, it's again, the perception is again related to belief system. So in this state, such an individual will also be obsessed with earthly concerns and wander perhaps throughout his own house and his surroundings. So these souls, they don't, as they don't understand, so they think, they are in that intention, they are in that thoughts, that they are still with their physical body, and that's why they they roam around their favorite places, they, whatever the place, what their own house and his surroundings. So in this case, the time of choosing the next life will be postponed, obviously, right? When it is not leaving the this dimension, so the next process, the next birth, obviously will be postponed. So Seth Master says, the mechanics of transition are highly variable as the mechanics of physical life are highly variable. There is no difference. So they are, the transition period when after leaving the body is also there, like multiple variables, and also here, as same as here, we have highly variables here. Many of the barriers which Seth Master has explained to us, they impede not only after death but also during physical existence. So these barriers, which what are the barriers? Like we postponing the next life. That means there is a delay, there is a time gap, like there is a delay in planning the next lifetime. So something, there is a delay. It's not only after leaving the body after death, but also we have these barriers when we are, so the growth process, there are some barriers for the growth process even when we are in the physical existence. And what are there? So for example, if an individual is much attached to his gender characteristics, can also hold back progress. Like if an individual hold strongly in terms of male or female identity, then such a person may refuse to accept the fact of gender changes, gender changes that occur in reincarnational existences. See, like whatever it is attached to us, if we are attached to the body, if we attached to our gender, if that if that if that individual is feeling much attached to the gender, like though it is male or female, if he feels that some characteristics, it's not like only the power, or not only mm, showing showing the characteristic, so showing the ego self, it's not about the ego self, whatever the character, whatever the character of the gender, if it is attached to it, then the progress will it will affect the progress. And not only about the personality development in the physical existence, but also these imprints will carry, the soul will carry these imprints to the even after life. So the soul, when it plans, if it is male, okay, if it is male, if it is attached to the gender very much, so when after leaving the body, when it is planning for next lifetime, next birth, if it has to plan a female, to take the female body, to take female birth, then the soul won't accept it. It's like a barrier. So whatever friends, whatever the attachments, we have to understand any attachment. So for example, Seth Master has taken one example, just one example here, but we have to work on our attachments, right? So attachment to any materialistic things, attachment to any this physical body, attachment to emotions, anything, to feelings, so to attachment to the people. So all these, so like they, all these attachments are barriers, becomes barriers. And we like it barriers for the progress. So here in the, and also it affects, so whatever we take the extreme emotions always will be, always it get imprinted on soul. And this soul, what it do, so whatever it got, whatever the prints it is carrying, the imprints it is carrying, it won't judge, the soul won't judge, you know, when we are when we are going to that extreme emotions, the soul won't judge, I don't want to take this, I want to take this, the soul won't judge. Always the soul will be in an observer state. Whatever you give, it will take, it will, it's completely, the soul is in an observer state. I have experienced this. So here, so when it's like a vision for me. So when I went into a tunnel, I could sense there are two, into a cave, there are two tunnels. So I decided to go, it's like a V shape, it's like a Y junction, it's like a Y junction. I was standing there, and at the tunnel, I want to explore the tunnel which is on my left side. So when I went into the tunnel, I could experience all the thoughts, desires, my wants. Then I understood, okay, this is mind. This tunnel is mind. Okay. And I want to explore the other side, the other tunnel. I came back and I went there. I entered into the next tunnel. It's like complete silence. So there is complete difference. It's like opposite, from the first tunnel to the second. So when I started to think, so why it is so silent and it's completely in an observer state. So I was, when I got to know through masters that that is my soul. My soul means is a soul. So soul is a complete in an observer state. It is just observing everything, and whatever the mind is giving. So it is just sucking. It is just taking the imprints, the extreme emotions, right? So it's like a huge. It's like the tunnel is just uh, it's like never ending. So I want to explore the tunnel. So uh, I just traveling into the tunnel, and it's like never ending. And what is its never ending? It's its consciousness, the soul and its consciousness. They are different, yet they are same, but there is a difference between a soul and its consciousness. It's just like what I was told. It's just like a flower and its fragrance. Fragrance is a consciousness and flower is a soul, right? So, and whatever it is guiding, it's not the soul that is not guiding us. It's the soul's consciousness is guiding us. So I have a clear understand about, okay, this is what the soul characteristic is. Characteristics of the soul. It never judges. It never judge. It never filter, or it never reject anything. Okay. And it's completely in an acceptance state. So this is the characteristics what I have observed in the tunnel. So that's the reason whatever we give the extreme emotions, it won't reject, or just it will accept it. And whatever it has imprints for the next birth, it want to clear, it want to experience that. Clear in the sense, it's not like something odd. It want to experience whatever the imprints it has taken, it want to experience that. And these imprints, who has given these imprints, is the mind. Is the mind plays a role, great role. So this mind gives the imprints, and this soul it plans to experience these imprints. And here is how we create our own reality again, right? And here and next, Seth Master says, those who understand that the reality is self-created will have least difficulty. I repeat this, masters. Those who understand that the reality is self-created will have least difficulty. Those who have learned to understand and operate in the mechanics of the dream state will have great advantage. So because in the dream states we have learned a lot, like about the dream self of us. So a belief in demons will have great disadvantage after death, right? There is an evil or God, so there is the difference. And also we have discussed about it in the previous sessions, about when we are discussing about hell and heaven, right? There is no such realms, there is no such places like hell and heaven. Whatever that we create, whatever, it's the soul that creates, right? And Seth Master says a systemized theology of opposites is also detrimental. It causes harm in our system. Like here in our system, the contrasts like good versus bad, evil versus God, angel versus demons, or Seth Master said it's they are like root assumptions. That means there is no duality here. In our existence there is no duality. Like and also some people, so most of the people, they think like there is bad, so this bad must be balanced with good, right? And these are extremely superficial and largely the result of misused intellectual abilities. We all do have these abilities, right? Intellectual abilities. But when our intellect is misleaded, our intellect misleads us, like there are the about this duality, but these all superficial, these are, there is nothing exists. And our intellect says if there is good and there must be evil, if there is good there must be something bad, and if there is up there must be a down, opposites. These contrasts are built by the intellect, and these are highly detrimental, and it prevents an understanding facts of inner unity and oneness. And the inner self knows, friends, the inner self knows and realizes in a larger terms that evil is simply ignorance. It's an ignorance. Our inner self knows everything. And this is a hurdle not only after death but also in physical existence. So here the growth is everywhere. We are in that constant progress state, though we not only after death but also the physical existence. So, and let me end by reading the last paragraph here. There are there are some individuals who have never experienced during physical life that sense of harmony and oneness in which such opposing factors merge. Such individuals have many stages to go through following transition and usually many other physical lives ahead of them. As you form your physical existence individually and collectively, so after the time of choosing, you join others who have decided upon the same general kind of experience. A strong cooperative venture is then begun as preparations are made. These will vary according to the type of existence chosen. There are general patterns, therefore. No individual's reality is identical with another's, and yet there are overall groupings. So, oneness and unity, there is no difference. There is no such things like bad or good. evil. So it's all about oneness, right? And and in order to experience this oneness, so we all have to experience this oneness. We all have to know, gain this knowledge about oneness. Each and every means each and every soul. So if we make these barriers, if we build these barriers, and definitely it will affect the progress, right? So this is all for today, friends, for today's session. But next week we will get to know about belief system. So thank you so much. If at all you want to share or add anything, you can unmute yourself. Okay. Um, thank you. Thank you for the messages. Thank you, sir. Yeah. So all this wisdom is expanding our common sense of soul's journey. Yes, Ram sir. So friends, this is all about, so whatever the barriers, whatever the attachments, we have to work on our thoughts, we have to work on our belief system. The core thing is, most important thing is belief system. And in next session, we will discuss about this. Thank you so much then. We'll all meet in the next session. Namaste all.